Welcome to Health and Wellness, where we offer integrated solutions for personal and financial retirement planning for medical professionals. I'm your host, Michael Swartz. Welcome to Chapter 7, Retirement. To set the stage, I'll walk you through a typical experience on the day you enter retirement. The morning was your final commute. Throughout the day, you said goodbye to colleagues, teammates, and friends. You attended your final meeting, shook the hands of your final patient, and you crossed the threshold of your office, taking the final walk through the corridors, out the staff entrance, and across the employee parking lot. As you are seated, gazing through the windshield of your idle vehicle, reality sets in. You have reached your retirement. How will you feel in this moment? What trajectory will you have set for yourself as you transitioned from your career and into retirement? This is your first experience and the first day of the rest of your life. In Chapter 2, we dismantled this antiquated identity of retirement. It's no longer reduced to the state of being retired, withdrawing from your occupation, or a place of seclusion or privacy. No, retirement is not the bewildering destination to be reached after jumping from the retirement cliff. Instead, retirement is a prosperous, generative period of life that begins on the day you retire. And in the modern retirement journey, retirement is a new beginning. Retirement will unfold over 4 distinct phases. Yes, your first experience will take place on the moment you're seated in your vehicle, in the moment you reach retirement. But over the next weeks, days, months, and years, it will unfold in a sequence of recursive 4-stage experiences. There's 2 ways to explain these 4 stages. The first was identified by Dr. Riley Moynihan, a retired doctor of psychology who presented the 4 stages of retirement in a 2022 TED Talk. In his talk, How to Squeeze All the Juice Out of Retirement, he identified the 4 stages of retirement as follows: vacation, unforeseen loss and lost, trial and error, and the reward. These perfectly complement a second psychological phenomenon known as the Dunning-Kruger effect. Imagine a graph with me where the y-axis is confidence, the vertical axis, and the x-axis is competence, the horizontal axis. In any psychological experience of developing a new skill or engaging in a new experience, Dr. David Dunning and Justin Kruger developed the concept of the Dunning-Kruger effect to explain the relationship between confidence, our vertical axis, and competence, our horizontal axis. The graph looks as so. First, a sharp spike in confidence with relatively limited confidence, followed by a swift decline in confidence as confidence increases. It ends up looking a bit like a mountain peak that spikes and then drops quickly, followed by a swooping drop down to the bottom, and then back up as competency increases to a second plateau of confidence. So the letter A, spike, drop, followed by a valley, and then a horizontal elongated slope and a reclimb in confidence over a deep level of competence. The reason the Dunning-Kruger effect is such a strong visual representation of retirement is the 4 stages of retirement that Dr. Moynihan identified complement this concept perfectly. In the Dunning-Kruger effect, the initial peak of confidence with limited competence is known as the peak of Mount Stupid. This is the vacation phase of retirement. With limited experience, every day is going to feel like a vacation. Woohoo! I'm no longer working. I have so much time freedom. I can finally revisit all those projects that I've been working on, and I can get them done. Welcome to my retirement. And then reality sets in. There's a drop in confidence with an increasing level of competence. This is what Dr. Moynihan identified as unforeseen loss and lost. If you recall from the earlier chapters, we talked about the psychological and social losses that physicians experience when they transition into retirement. This happens to create what is known as the Valley of Despair. A drop in confidence, even with an increase in competence, is the byproduct of losing so many social and psychologically stimulating relationships and environmental factors in retirement. The to-do list gets done, the seasons change, all of a sudden retirement loses its shine. And this is where things can get a little bit tricky. Getting stuck in the valley of despair and falling victim to the unforeseen loss and lost can cause a tremendous psychological issue. This is when divorce, depression, dependency, and death set in. Without a plan, without a positive trajectory to offset the issues that are caused by the unforeseen loss and lost, people can get trapped in the valley of despair. There are two solutions to avoid the valley of despair or to get out of it. The first is to regress back to the peak of Mount Stupid. You can live in denial of your problems. You may know a colleague or friend who does. Rather than reconciling with reality, admitting what is going on, and creating a plan to move past it, you can just live in denial. Go back to the limited competency and have an unfounded high level of confidence. Woohoo! Retirement's a vacation. But as we talked about the happiness and the three forms in an earlier chapter, you'll realize that the peak of Mount Stupid really only offers that hedonistic happiness, those short-lived, compulsory happinesses that are subject to habituation. Eventually, you have to have more and more of a compulsive consumption of experiences to feel any form of happiness on the peak of Mount Stupid. And I would argue that it is likely that this is not the retirement that you are searching for. No, we will not get stuck in the valley of despair, and we will not regress to the peak of Mount Stupid. We will push forward. As our competency increases in retirement, a second generation of confidence will accompany it. And this is the climb up the slope of enlightenment. The slope of enlightenment is accompanied by Dr. Moynihan's third phase of retirement, trial and error. You will try new things. You will use your purpose and identity and value statements to figure out what retirement truly means for you, what a fulfilling life is beyond medicine. This leads to the reward. The fourth phase of the retirement journey is the plateau of sustainability, a restructuring of your life that has a cadence that provides reward. Dr. Moynihan calls this phase the reward. Dunning-Kruger effect is known as the plateau of sustainability. You will rebuild a framework for your life that aligns with your purpose, that provides an expression of value and allows you to live aligned with your personal identity. Now, the problem is this is once again a subjective experience, and every retired physician will have a different path to the slope of enlightenment and onto the plateau of sustainability, through trial and error to ultimately reach the reward. But the way to get there is only to engage in all four phases of retirement, and it can be so empowering to know that this is what awaits you in retirement. The best way to maintain belief on this journey in retirement is to have a retirement intention statement. Your retirement intention statement is the answer to the ultimate question that is posed in the modern retirement problem. What's next? When we take a look at what's next, what happens with our lives when we end our career, the retirement intention statement is the single sentence that will provide you with a very clear vision, a mantra, if you will, for what your retirement journey is leading you to. Your retirement intention statement will be the flag that you slam into the ground when you reach the plateau of sustainability. A retirement intention statement looks something like this. In retirement, I will invest my skills of coordination and collaboration to bring value to the medical community that I have left behind professionally, such that I touch the lives personally, positively, and meaningfully in my retirement years. This retirement intention statement was brought to us by a physician in Palo Alto, California. Now she has something to retire to motivate her and climb the slope of enlightenment to leave a meaningful, purpose-driven life in the pursuit of a greater mission in retirement that is motivated by a purpose, identity, and values that were defined by the individual. This is the value of retiring well. This is the value of having a strong day you retire to create professional closure and a positive personal trajectory into retirement. This is how retirement goes well. So as you process the process of retiring, as you engage with the day that you retire, and as you transition into retirement and know that the 4 phases of retirement await you, what are you doing to prepare? Health and Wellness was created with the sole intention of providing structure and guidance to make the transition from a career practicing medicine as a physician into a lifetime of retirement as seamless and potentially positive as possible. That's not to say that we can eliminate every challenge that lies ahead of us, but we can be prepared. It's no different than working in the emergency room or in surgery. Things will go wrong, But having a plan is the most valuable thing that you can do. Having a forecast for what to anticipate and doing everything in your power to prepare for the upcoming events is the purpose of the modern retirement journey. Creating a transition from career to retirement is the process, is the purpose of health and wellness. With that, I encourage you to share this message with others. I encourage you to reach out and schedule coaching conversations with me to talk about your transition. There are 3 phases to the retirement journey: retiring, the day you retire, and retirement. And my question for you is, do you know an expert who can help you transition? And if you don't, please reach out. You're not on this journey alone. Thank you for listening to this episode of Health and Wellness. As always, I'm your host, Michael Schwartz, certified financial planner and healthcare peer coaching practitioner. If you're looking for more help or additional resources on your retirement journey, please visit healthwellness.com or send an email to hello@healthwellness.com. We'll see you in the next episode.